John Lynch may not be the one to point the finger at for drafting Solomon Thomas. San Francisco 49ers GM John Lynch has received a ton of criticism for drafting Solomon Thomas with the third overall pick in 2017. When talking about Lynch's success, the conversation always teeters back to, well, he drafted Solomon Thomas instead of guys like Jamal Adams, Deshaun Watson, or Patrick Mahomes. That may not be his fault to begin with, and here's why. Lynch is the general manager because of Kyle Shanahan? Right. Despite his Hall of Fame resume, Lynch reached out to Kyle Shanahan and volunteered for the job. What if Shanahan didn't co-sign for Lynch? Would Lynch have been hired? Lynch wasn't even a candidate before he called Lynch. So it's safe to say, probably not. How does that tie in to drafting Solomon Thomas? Well, their first draft together, considering Shanahan basically hired Lynch, basically co-signed for Lynch. Once again, these are logical and realistic assumptions that I'm going to discuss here. It would be safe to say that Kyle Shanahan had 51% of the say when it came to making a decision on what the 49ers were going to do in their first draft together as the new regime. Although there was quarterbacks like Watson and Mahomes available, for whatever wild reason, Kyle Shanahan was obsessed with the idea of adding Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback of the future for the San Francisco 49ers. At least that's what it made out to be for Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan has been on record that he fully believes on building a team within the offensive and defensive line. It's not a bad strategy by any means. I'm not knocking that strategy. It's very key. Look at the 49ers defensive line last year and how much that helped out their success. And if the 49ers had a little better interior play in the Super Bowl, they may have been the champions coming into this season. But that may have not been Lynch's ideal strategy when looking at a draft board. Who knows? All guys see it as best value, and some guys like Shanahan believe on the best defensive line or offensive line available. And I say that because look at the 49ers' past four drafts under Shanahan. 2017, selected Solomon Thomas. 2018, Mike McGlinchey. 2019, Nick Bosa. Yes, that was an obvious one, but it was still on the defensive line. And then 2020, Javon Kinlaw. So in all those four drafts together, four offense or defensive line, yeah, that Shanahan's getting what he wants. And then in 2017, the pre-draft process, the 49ers were getting linked to Jonathan Allen pretty heavily. I remember seeing him in a few mock drafts, as well as Jamal Adams was pretty heavy in the 49ers mock draft from all over national media websites. But with all that talent available, Shanahan only visited one player. He did not visit Jonathan Allen. He did not visit Jamal Adams. He did not visit Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, or any of the other top talent that was there on the board. Instead, that one visit was to Solomon Thomas. And this is where things get interesting. Rich Eisen did a great job with the phone interview with John Lynch. He was able to discover and find out who John Lynch's draft crush was. And Rich Eisen asked a question. Okay, if the Chicago Bears selected Solomon Thomas with a second overall pick, John Lynch, interesting laugh as soon as he heard that. And Eisen goes on to say, would you guys have selected Mitch Trubisky with that third overall pick? John Lynch showed zero remorse, considering in that fictional situation that Solomon Thomas would be off on the board. Most people would say, oh, we would have been completely devastated if Thomas was off the board. That was our guy. We would have never made that trade with the Bears. If they had plans to draft Solomon Thomas, we certainly came on an agreement when they told us they were not taking Thomas. Instead, he laughed about it. And he went on to say that his draft crush was Reuben Foster, and if Solomon Thomas wasn't there, like he was even willing to draft Reuben Foster at the third overall pick. Okay, so it's clear. Reuben Foster was John Lynch's guy, not Solomon Thomas. Shanahan wanted Solomon Thomas. Shanahan has done great things. He's an offensive wizard. But this is in regards to, let's stop creating that narrative that John Lynch has not received an extension because he drafted a guy like Solomon Thomas with the third overall pick. It's clear Thomas was not his guy. That was Shanahan's guy. So let's not create that narrative with John Lynch. He's done a fantastic job. Obviously, every head coach, every GM misses on picks, but that was not John Lynch's pick to make.